Hello, in this video, I'm going to go through 1.4 arithmetic series. An arithmetic series is a continuation from our arithmetic sequences, and basically a series is the sum. It is going to be the sum of a sequence. Okay, so over here, this series, what it means, it is the sum of the sequence. So let's say we had a very simple example. If I had a sequence that was 5, 8, uh, uh, 5, 8, 11, 14, and so on, you can see that every single time it goes up by 3, by 3, by 3. And let's say it goes up to, we'll give two more numbers, 17 and then 20. Okay, we have a sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. And so this is what we call a sequence right here. Sequence. And so for a series, it's going to be the sum of all of that. 5 plus 8 plus 11 plus 14 plus 17 plus 20, and that's it. Okay, that will be the series. Now, if the series is short, we can just use our calculators. We can just add all the numbers together, and it will be fairly straightforward to find. But let's say we had a very long sequence, and we wanted to find the sum of it. Let's say there were like 50 terms, or maybe like 20-something terms. It'll be kind of a waste of time, and it'll be quite difficult for us to just enter every single number into our calculators. And so that's why we use a formula to find the arithmetic series. Now, how does the formula come about? I'll quickly show us how it comes about. Let's just look at this example over here, 5 plus 8 all the way to 20. If we have to find a series, and in series, we would use Sn to denote it. And let's say this is the first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term, sixth term. So we have 6 terms in here. So we say S of 6, that is the sum of the first 6 terms, S of 6. And usually the formula for series is Sn is equal to the first term, A, plus the last term, Tn, all of it times n divided by 2. Now, I'll show us how it happens, okay? So here we have the sum of the 6 terms. Before I go here, I want to show us how it actually becomes like this. So if I wanted to find the sum of all of this, we have to add it like this. Add all of the numbers together. But let's say I'm going to take the same series. This is S of 6, right? This is the sum. The same sum, if I reverse the order, 20 plus 17 plus 14 plus 11 plus 8 and plus 5. If we add up both of these sums together, 20 plus 5 will be 25. 17 plus 8 is also 25. 14 plus 11 is also 25. 11 plus 14 is also 25. 8 plus 17 is also 25. 5 plus 20 is also 25. So every single one of them, if I add these two together, we have 2 times the sum of the series, okay? And so every single one of them are actually 25. And how many 25s are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's actually 6 times 25. Okay, and so if we look at the formula here, the sum of this is the first term plus the last term multiplied by the number of terms. Now, this is twice the sum because there's 2 times of it. And so in order for us to find just one of it, okay, this is 2 times the sum of the first 6 terms, I'll have to divide it by 2. So all of this will now be divided by 2. That's why the sum is going to be first term plus last term multiplied by the number of terms divided by 2. Okay, so let's have a look at the first example over here. I'm going to scroll down to our first example. Determine the sum of the first 14 terms in an arithmetic series. Okay, so there are 14 terms. Now, the 3 most important things when we look at a sum, let's just bring it up again. S of n is equal to a plus Tn times by n, all divided by 2. We need the first term, we need the last term, we need the number of terms. So in this example, we don't have the last term. We're missing Tn. So we need to find Tn first. So in order for us to find Tn, we have to work out, let's just bring out Tn formula again. Tn is a plus n minus 1 d. Okay, where a is the first term, n is the number of terms, and d is the common difference. Now, in a arithmetic sequence, it's easy for us to find the common difference. That's just each term minus or subtract its previous term. So we can determine this. This is plus 6 and this is plus 6. So the common difference here is 6. I'm just going to write it down over here. D equals to 6. So it makes lives a little bit easier for me. And then now we can find out what Tn is. And so I'm going to put Tn, and it says the first 14. So we're looking for T14. T14 is going to be A, which is the first term, 9 plus 14 minus 1, and the common difference is 6. And all we have to do is put this into our calculators, and I've got my calculator here. 9 plus 13 times 6, that's 87. Okay, so T14 is 87. I have my last term now. Now that I know my last term, I can go back to Sn. I have Tn, I have first term, I have number of terms, and so S of 14 now, I can put it into my writing. S of 14, that's the sum of the first 14 terms, is going to be bracket A, which is 9, plus last term, which is 87, and then number of terms, which is 14, all of it divided by 2. So put it into your calculator, 9 plus 87, and then multiply that by 14, and then divide it by 2. And so S of 14 is going to be 672. Okay, let's have a look at the next example. In this example, we want to find the sum of 22 terms of an arithmetic sequence with the first term as negative 18 and T22 as 45. So we have the first term, we have the last term, but what we don't have now is the common difference. We don't know what D is. We don't know. Actually, we don't know. We don't need to know D, because let's bring up the formula again. Sn is going to be A plus Tn times n divided by 2. We have A. This is A. This is Tn. This is the last term because we're looking for sum of 22 terms, so that's Tn. And we have n, right? That's n as well. And so we don't even need to find out what the common difference is. We just need to put it into the formula. This one's fairly easy. Example, Sn, we can replace n with 22, is going to be first term, which is negative 18, plus last term, which is 45, all in a bracket, multiply that by 22, divided by 2. And all you have to do is put this into your calculator. So negative 18 plus 45, all of this multiplied by 22, divided by 2, and the sum is going to be 297. Okay? Now moving on to the third example. Now if I'm speaking too fast, feel free to pause the video, go back and rewatch it. I am speaking a little bit fast. I want to keep the video short. Find the sum of the terms in the sequence 17, 12, 7, all the way to negative 38. So it gives you the first term. We have A. It gives you the last term, but we don't know what n is. We don't know which term it is. So now we have to use the Tn formula to work out which n it is. What is that last term? Term number. So remember, I'm going to bring up the Tn formula. Tn is going to be A plus bracket n minus 1d. Is it easy for us to work out the common difference? Yes. So 17 to 12 is minus 5. 12 to 7 is, again, minus 5. So we know that the common difference is negative 5. So we want to work out what Tn is. I know it's negative 38. So let's put it into the formula. Negative 38 is equal to, the first term is 17 plus, I don't know what n is, and I'm going to leave it as n, and then minus 1, and then d is going to be negative 5. Okay, so n minus 1 times negative 5. Let's open the bracket, so we have to use distribution law. So negative 38 is equal to 17 minus 5n, and then minus times minus will be plus 5. Let's clean that up. That's going to be 22 minus 5n. That's negative 38. Let's move 22 to the other side. So negative 38 minus 22 is negative 60. Is going to be negative 5n, and then we're going to divide negative 5 to the other side. So n is equals to negative 60 divided by negative 5, which is 12. Okay, so we know that we're looking for 12 terms. This is going to be T12. Okay, so now that we know we're looking for the 12th term, we can find the sum of the 22 terms. Okay, we have all the information we need. Let me bring down the formula again. Sn is equal to, it's going to be A plus Tn times n divided by 2. So we have A, we have Tn, we have n, and we can find the sum. So Sn is equal to, let me just give myself some space. Sn is equal to first term, which is 17, plus last term, which is negative 38. So we can just say minus 38 instead, okay? Minus 38. All of it times 12 divided by 2. Put it into your calculator. 17 minus 38 times 12 divided by 2. I have negative 126. Okay, so negative 126. Now, there are certain questions where it gives you a alternative formula for the series. Okay, now this is a specific series. For this certain arithmetic series, the formula is half n bracket 11 minus n. And so, using this, we'll need to determine the first 4 terms of the corresponding arithmetic sequence. Now, this is already the series, okay? It is a formula to give us the sum of the first n terms. So, we can work out what the sum of the first term is. So, we're going to put in 1. So, if I put s of 1 into my formula, that's going to be half times 1, and then 11 minus 1, and this will give me an answer of, well, that's, I can use my head to do this. That's 11 minus 1 is 10. 10 times half is just 5, okay? So if the sum of the first term is 5, that means the first term must be 5. Means that T1 is equal to 5 as well. Okay, so S1 and T1 is always going to be the same because the sum of the first term is just the first term. Now, if we look at the sum of the two terms, the first two terms, okay, S of 2, that means this first term plus second term, T1 plus T2, that's half of 2, 11 minus 2. And this time, we can put it into our calculators. 11 minus 2 is 9. 9 times 2, and then divided by 2, we would get 9. Okay, which means that the sum of the first two terms is 9. Okay, so where does 9 come from? S2 is going to be T1 plus T2. Okay, this is T1 plus T2. So I'm going to think to myself, 5 plus what will give me 9? That's 4. So I know that T2 is going to be 4. Okay, because 5 plus 4 will give me 9, right? Or you can think to yourself, 5 plus 4 will give me 9 over here. Okay, maybe that doesn't really help us. Okay, let me say here, so 5 plus what equals to 9, and that what has to be 4. Okay, now let's go on to sum of the first 3 terms, S3. The sum of the first 3 terms is going to be half 3, 11 minus 3. Okay, just put it into the formula. So 11 minus 3 is 8. Okay, 8 times 3 divided by 2 is 12. Okay, so now this is the sum of the first 3 terms, T1 plus T2 plus T3. Okay, S3 is going to be T1 plus T2 plus T3 is going to be 12. So 5 plus 4 plus what is 12? Okay, 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus T3 is 12. So it has to be 3. Okay, 9 plus 3 will give us 12. And you can confirm it. 5 plus 4 plus 3, it gives me 12. Now, remember, this is an arithmetic sequence, meaning that they always have the same common difference. If this is minus 1, this is minus 1. So I can already guess that T4 is going to be 2 following the same pattern. Now, let's go ahead and confirm that, okay? Don't just assume it's correct and then finish. You have to confirm it. So S of 4, let's put it into the formula again. That's 4, 11 minus 4. So that's going to be 11 minus 4, which is 7. Times that by 4, divided by 2, that's 14. And so 12 plus 2 will give me 14. So I know that I'm correct. Okay, so that is it for this video.